I've worked as a therapist for over 7 years. And in those 7 years, I've done almost 7,000 one on one therapy sessions. And in that time working as a therapist, I've seen a lot of patterns in the way that people think, a lot of patterns in the way that people feel, a lot of patterns in the way that human beings live their lives. And my clients aren't just mentally ill or, what many people think of when they think of someone who goes to therapy. A lot of my clients are everyday people who are just struggling, or they just need help, or they need somebody to talk to. So I've seen people on all ends of the extreme, the healthy, normal, I guess, human beings, like everyday people, and then people on the complete other end of the spectrum with severe mental illness. And in that in the delta between the normally functioning people and the people who are severely struggling, even in that, I've seen a lot of patterns. And one of the biggest patterns that I've seen, unfortunately, is that very few people ever actually achieve goals that really matter to them. Very few people ever actually get the life that they want. And this bothered me so much because I'm seeing these people day in and day out. I see them struggle. I see them making mistakes. I see them having such a hard time. And it was so devastating seeing them just run these patterns over and over again, never ending up being the people that they wanted. Now, thankfully, when they started working with me, that started to change. But before that, they kept repeating these same cycles over and over again. And this is a really common phenomenon just in general. The data is kind of skewed on this, so I don't want to give false information. But from the research that I've done, only about at most, and again, I don't think this is true, but this is what the data says. 70% of people say they are likely to set some sort of goal. I think it's lower, but I'll just go based on what that says. So only about 70% of people say that they set goals. Of that 70% of people, only between 3 and 8% of those people ever actually achieve it. So in a room of 100 people, only 70 of them, and again, I don't think that's true, I think it's lower, but just going off of what this says, only 70 of those 100 people will set a goal. And only 3 to 8% of those 70 people will ever actually achieve that goal. So, what's 3% of 70? I actually want to do this. So, 0.03 times 70. That means only two people of those 70 are actually going to achieve any of the goals. That is a massive problem, especially when we are living in a world where more and more people feel as though their life doesn't matter. When we are living in a world where more and more people feel so desperately stuck and helpless and not good enough and incompetent, and where so few people are actually living lives that they believe deeply matter to them. It's wrong. And my hope and my goal is that by the end of this video, you will understand 3 of the biggest reasons why you might be getting stuck in that habit and in that pattern, and then how to actually get out of it. There's a lot of misconceptions about why people don't achieve goals, and some of the biggest ones are, well, success is only for those types of people. You have to be an ultra achiever. You have to be a Caucasian heterosexual male in the tech companies. You have to be this type of person, that type of person, this type of whatever. There's a lot of mixed narratives about what it takes to actually achieve things. And more often than not, those are deeply wrong. What does need to happen is what I'm going to be talking about. So first and foremost, I'm going to start off with the 3 reasons why people don't end up achieving their goals. And then what the inverse opposite of that would be, meaning what you actually do need to do. So number one of the biggest reasons why so few people ever actually achieve what they want, why people honestly never get what they want, is because they don't actually know why they want what they want. Most people are going for goals and going for things that they're telling themselves that they want based on a story, based on some unconscious narrative about who they're supposed to be and why they're supposed to be it and the life that they're supposed to live and what it means to be a man in my family, what it means to be a woman in my family, what I think I'm supposed to be or what I believe I'm supposed to do. But we don't ever actually know why we want that thing. We never actually really know why it matters so much to us that we have that specific thing. If you've ever found yourself chasing a job that you didn't actually really care about, chasing a partner that felt really misaligned, but you didn't understand why you kept wanting them, when you kept setting fitness goals that you couldn't achieve, and you kept self-sabotaging yourself. Most people have no idea why they actually want what they want. They just convince themselves that they want it, and then they chase after it, and then they can't sustain it, so then they self-sabotage, and then they never end up achieving the goal. Number 2, most people want it for the wrong reasons if they do know why they want it. So let's say that there's a specific partner that you're chasing after, and you know in your heart of hearts that this is the person for you. And you've told yourself, well, I want it because they're 6'2" and they're very successful, and my family thinks that they're really good looking, and I'm going to look good being with this person. But every time you're with them, there's this ping in your chest that you don't actually feel loved. You don't actually feel cared for and appreciated. You care about what this person looks like on paper more than you actually care about them as a person. You want them because of what they look like on paper and because of what you think you're going to get or have or do as a byproduct of being with them. And so many of us do that. I remember when my business partner and I first started our business, I told myself I wanted to be the female Tony Robbins. I wanted to, travel all over the world the way that he did. And I wanted to do 7-day seminars the way that he did. And I wanted to have thousands and thousands of people at those events. And I wanted this and I wanted that. And I was so dead set on the idea that that was the life that I wanted. But then I actually sat down with a coach who could actually help me achieve that. And he walked me through what it would take to actually achieve it. And for a while, I convinced myself I could do it. I was like, I could do this. This is easy. No problem. Didn't work out, clearly. Why? Because I wanted it for the status that it was going to give me. I wanted it because I thought that that's what would make me significant and special. I thought that having his level of impact and living life the way that he did was what I was supposed to do. I thought that that would make me finally feel good enough about myself. I wanted it for the wrong reasons. And that's why it was going to be impossible for me to achieve it, because I didn't want it because that felt like a calling to me. I wanted it because I was convincing myself that that was the way that I had to live in order to be good enough. And so many people are living their life this way. They're chasing a certain job because of the status they're going to get. They want a specific car or a certain relationship or to go on a certain vacation because their friend went on it and they want to show off. So many of us, and you might have done this too, we're chasing things that don't actually matter to us. We're chasing things that we have convinced ourselves we want because we think it's going to make us feel good enough. And the truth is, it never will. You will chase this goal to your demise. And the shitty thing is, when you finally do get it, it's going to feel empty and hollow. And you likely will self-sabotage it. Most people won't ever actually achieve it, but if they do, it'll be so hollow and so empty. And to be honest, this is why so many people end up completing suicide after they've achieved this massive success or after they've achieved a massive goal that they were chasing, because they were doing it for all the wrong reasons. It's a tragedy how many people are chasing goals that don't actually matter to them, chasing the idea of the goal or chasing the idea of whatever that thing is, because they think that that's who they have to be in order to be enough or to be loved or to be wanted or to be accepted or to belong. We're chasing the wrong thing for the wrong reasons. And I've seen this time and time again in my therapy practice. And I did it too. The third one is one of the, it's going to be hard for a lot of people to hear. And to be fair, this was really hard for me to hear too, because I felt trapped and I felt victim to this too. I didn't want to feel pain and discomfort. How many people do you know who have set a New Year's resolution of, I'm going to lose 15 pounds? So number one, they're falling into the trap of doing it for the wrong reasons. But then number two, they don't actually want to have to go through the struggle of what the goal is going to entail. If you want to lose weight, on a principle standpoint, it's actually really simple. You eat less and you eat better and you exercise more. And then there's other nuances, like make sure you're getting enough sleep, make sure you're drinking enough water, make sure you're not eating fast food, stuff like that. But fundamentally, it's really simple. But so few people can actually do it. So many people rely on things like Ozempic or medications or, quick tricks and tips to achieve the outcome because they don't feel capable of tolerating the pain and the discomfort that setting and achieving a goal is going to take. I'll continue with the Tony Robbins example. Tony Robbins sacrificed his entire life for his goals. He never saw his family. He really didn't have friends. He compromised his health. And now he's doing everything he can to try to backtrack it and make himself healthy in his late 60s. But he compromised so much of his life. He was willing to pay the price. But at what cost? More often than not, people set a goal. They don't know why they do it. They tell themselves a story of why they want it. But then when they're actually in it, because they don't have a clear enough reason why they want it, what ends up happening is when it starts getting uncomfortable, because it inevitably is going to, because when you set a goal, it requires more of you than you currently are capable of to get it. So when that happens, and when the discomfort and the dis-ease and the challenge and the pain and the sacrifice starts to come up, it stops being worth it. The goal stops being worth the effort that you're having to put in. And so most people quit. These three reasons, you don't know why you want it. You want it for the wrong reasons, and you're not able to tolerate the pain and the discomfort, are hands down the 3 biggest reasons why you will never get what you want. So what is the inverse of that? How do you make sure that you set goals that actually, like, really, really matter to you? How do you set a goal that you sincerely believe in your heart of hearts is right for you and that you can actually achieve it so that you can be part of that 3 to 8%, and hopefully that increases, but so that you can be part of that 3 to 8% of people who actually end up living a life on their terms, a life that they truly want. Number 1, you have to understand why you want it. You have to want goals based on who you sincerely are, based on the type of person that you take all the bullshit away, take all the narratives away, take all of the ideas of what status and significance is, take all of that away. Who are you at your core? If nobody would ever judge you, if everybody would celebrate you, if there would be nothing bad done to you for you sincerely owning you and who you are and what you want, what would that be? That's the person you really are. But so few people are actually capable of doing that because the reality is that so many people will ostracize you. So many people will be angry at you for trying to do more or trying to be more. Because when you grow, it makes other people uncomfortable because of what they have to do in order to either keep up with you and the mirrors that they have to face that they don't feel capable of doing it themselves. People do get uncomfortable when you start to change. And what will happen is they will either attack you and try to bring you down, or they will ostracize you and push you away. Which means you have to have a really good reason for why you're doing what you're doing. It has to matter enough to you to be worth that. Number 2, I didn't write this in here, but like this is kind of part of it. Because so many people don't really know why they want what they want, and they don't really know what it is that they want with enough clarity, they don't set like benchmarks and milestones. It's like, I'm just going to lose 15 pounds, but I don't know how. And I don't know how to do it. And now I feel stuck. Now I'm not going to do it. We don't know what we want. We don't know why we want it. So we can't actually set milestones and we can't set appropriate benchmarks to achieve it. It's like setting a financial goal, right? If you want to save, I got to figure out how to do math. If you want to save $365 at the end of the year, that's about as basic as math as I can do right now without sitting down and putting my computer out and taking my calculator out. This is why I went to school for psychology, not math. If you want to save $365 at the end of the year, that means that you have to put away $1 every day. That's really easy. It's really doable. You know exactly what you have to do. Most of us have no idea how to actually get the things that we want. We don't set benchmarks for ourselves. We don't do research into how can I do this and what can I do and how can I get it done. We just get the idea in our head and then we like run like hell to try to figure it out. We take bad advice from people who don't even have the goal themselves, and then we end up self-sabotaging. So number 1, you have to understand what you want and why. Number 2, you have to have a clear path in order to achieve it. And a really big part of that is going to be surrounding yourself with people who have already done it. Hire a coach or a therapist. Go reach out to somebody who you know has the thing that you want and ask them how they did it. Offer to take them to lunch. Offer to, grab a coffee with them and ask them how they did it, or send them a DM. You know how many books are written out there on how to achieve certain things? People literally spend decades writing out how they did what they did so that people can go read it and learn how to do it. So find resources that can help you to actually achieve the goal. And then number 3, learn how to tolerate discomfort. I know it's not sexy. I know it's not fun. It's not easy. But you can build willpower. You can build distress tolerance. But when we set unrealistic goals and we have no idea how to do it, we put ourselves in these really intolerable situations that we can't sustain. So the pain goes from 0 to 10, and then you're like, oh my God, shit, I don't want this. So then you stop. If you want to lose 10 pounds in 10 weeks and you found yourself a coach, it's not going to require you to make these crazy ass changes. Maybe some, but if that's a realistic goal, losing a pound a week, there's a very simple strategy to actually achieve that. And you're not going to have to make these radical changes. You're going to have to make some. And over time, you'll learn how to tolerate it because you start slowly changing your habits. You slowly add new things in. You slowly remove certain things. You're taking belief steps. We're trying not to use the term baby steps that evolve anymore because people have a negative connotation with that. It's like, I'm not a baby. No one said you are. So, belief steps. You're taking micro steps to prove to yourself that you can do it, that you're capable. You build up a tolerance for resistance. You build up a tolerance for distress. In small little ways, you challenge and you test yourself. So instead of taking 2 pieces of bread, you take 1 and you see how you do. It's like, oh, I was able to do that. Cool. Okay, what else can I do? When you're passing by the grocery store, instead of buying the, massive container of chocolate that you typically get with all of the stuff inside of it, you go get the smaller container because you know that you never end up eating it anyways. Or if you do, you eat the whole thing and you don't want to do that. So you get the smaller one. You're building tolerance for discomfort. You're building a tolerance for distress. If you follow these steps, you learn to identify what it really is that you want and why. You build an actual game plan for achieving it and using resources that can teach you and show you how. And you learn to tolerate discomfort. I guarantee that you will be able to have and achieve almost anything that you want. I want to be a little bit taller, but that's not realistic. So that's why I said almost anything. I'm 5'1 3/4". I say I'm 5'2". I would love to be like 5'3, 5'4", but it's never going to happen. So it's an unrealistic goal. So if you follow these steps and you sincerely follow them, you'll be able to achieve almost anything that you want. And you'll start to develop the belief that I'm the kind of person that can do the things that I say I'm going to do. That level of confidence will change your entire world. I did it. I've helped hundreds of people do it. And it's possible for you too.